It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth a hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz program here in the Prince George's Schools where we test scientific literacy. We invite you to play along and see how many of these questions you can answer along with our players. This is the beginning of our 34th year of Science Bowl here in the Prince George's Schools, and we keep getting more and more outstanding students like the ones you're about to meet. Let's meet the team from Greenbelt Middle School. Say hello to Fiona Sorensen, Hannah Abraham, and Ruby Calendria. And from Martin Luther King Middle School, say hello to Martin McCall, Trevor Bateman, and Sabrina Pillai. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easy questions on the left, 5 and 10 points. 15, 20, 25, the toughest question on that far right of all the questions on the board. We start our teams out at 50 points apiece. No penalties for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds, we will have the first of our 4 semifinalists in this year's middle school competition. And whichever one of these schools becomes the semifinalist, it will be in a custom spot because we have 2 former champs playing today. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly. Hannah, would you try that red team buzzer? It looks and sounds just fine. Good luck to you, to Ruby, and to Fiona. Trevor, how about you? Green looks A-OK as well. Good luck to you, to Martin and Sabrina. Congratulations, guys, for making it this far in the competition. Both of you scored over 300 points in your opening game. That is phenomenal. So you guys you need to pat yourselves on the back. Don't get too cocky yet. Got to play this last game. We go alphabetically G before M, so Greenbelt and Hannah, let's play the bowl.
Zoo parade for 10 points.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. In the Lion King movie, a member of the most numerous order of insects, the coleopterans, starred by pushing some poop. What was the name of that insect?
A dung beetle.
Yeah, the dung beetle was in there. Good. Go Green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. You know, on the International Space Station, the astronauts' least favorite of Newton's laws of motion is the third, which says for every action,
There's an equal and opposite reaction.
That's right. The problem is, of course, if they bounce against the wall, they ricochet all over the place, as does most everything else aboard the space shuttle. Nicely done. Go King.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, some farmers put their hens inside of a solarium so that this vitamin is added more.
D.
D, yeah, to the hen's eggs. That's it. Thanks, Ruby. Go Hannah.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees recently had surgery on this digit, a digit he shares with little Jack Horner, who stuck it into a pie and pulled out a plum. Hannah.
Thumb.
His thumb. That's right. Good. Thanks, Fiona. Go.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, this is very interesting. Dogs are so attractive to us humans because unlike wolves, they can raise these, Martin Luther King.
Their ears.
Not their ears. Greenbelt, dogs can raise these, giving their face far more expression. Wolves can't raise these.
Eyebrows?
Eyebrows, exactly right. Good comeback. Good. Go. The ears made some sense. 85 to 75 Greenbelt, you're in the lead.
Green things 10.
Green things, 10 points. Teams, if you play tennis at the French Open, you play on a clay court. If you go to England and play at Wimbledon, the court is made of this green thing. Martin Luther King.
Grass.
Grass, good, go, green.
Zoo parade for 15 points.
Zoo parade for 15. Teams, this largest American bird, a kind of vulture, was saved from extinction but is still threatened by prey that is killed by lead ammo. Greenbelt, name this largest American bird.
Turkey vulture.
Not a turkey vulture, good try. This largest American bird, which is a type of vulture, was saved from extinction but is still threatened, Trevor.
A condor.
A condor, that's right, the California condor. Good, go, green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Your question is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Some people call this a sow bug or a pill bug or a roly-poly. It's not a bug at all. In fact, it is a terrestrial version of what kinds of creatures, sea-initial creatures.
Crustaceans.
Martin Luther King?
A crustacean.
Yeah, those are crustaceans, just like crabs and lobsters are. Good. Green again.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade, 25. Big one in that category. Teams, a dead human body is called a corpse, but a dead animal body, Martin Luther King, what do you call it?
A pass for Martin.
Let me go over and finish the question for Greenbelt. A dead human body is a corpse. A dead animal body is known by this C initial term.
Carcass.
A carcass, that's what I wanted. Yes, indeed. Good. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Tie the score if you get this one right. Teams, at minus 40 degrees, that is the point at which these two...
The Fahrenheit and the Celsius scale.
That's where they meet. You got that right. You were way ahead of me, Trevor. Good. Go.
Let's get physical for 20 points.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, it's very interesting sometimes the way stores advertise their products. One store says that their pink Himalayan salt is non-GMO. Well, folks,
Modified organism.
Genetically modified organism.
give me more information.
It
It doesn't have carbon.
it does not have carbon.
Not quite. Greenbelt, this pink Himalayan salt that this store is advertising as non-GMO is kind of strange because salt doesn't have what G's?
Pastor Ruby.
Genes.
Genes, yeah, there are no genes in salt. It's a mineral, but they're advertising it as not a genetically modified organism. Nice comeback. Go red. Go
Dateline
red.
science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Score update, tie score, 130 all. This is Dateline for 10 points. Teams, it was back in 2013 that the National Institutes of Health stopped using these primates for research. Specifically, King.
Chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees, exactly right. Whoa, all right. The buzzer says we've come to the end of a frenetic first round. Our score is 130 Greenbelt, 140 Martin Luther King. It's this close. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Science Bowl. What a game we've got going here. Almost a dead heat, as we expected. Both these teams, the last time they were here, scored over 300 points, and they are on target to do the same thing today. Let's go over and talk to them and give them a little break before we ask them more science questions. Greenbelt, for people tuning in for the very first time, they've never seen you before. Tell us all about Greenbelt. Who's your principal?
Dr. Valentine.
Dr. Valentine. She's out there cheering for you, and the sponsor of your team is the one and only
Miss Pagunson.
That's right, and she is out there, and she has worked so hard to get you guys ready for this. And alternates on your team.
Yeah, Leo Gao, Jimmy Zhang, Allison Martinez, and Maya Swistak.
I'm always impressed you can do that without any kind of script whatsoever in front of you. They're very integral parts of the team here, these alternates, because they train with you. Tell us about Greenbelt. It's a relatively new school. What's the favorite part of the school for you?
There's lots of programs that you can get into. Like we have geometry and biology, which are high school credit courses, and we had like arts classes. Like we have band, orchestra, choir. We had guitar, and now we have a dance program.
Very nice, very nice. Tell us about yourself. What are your career plans?
Well, I would like to go into astrophysics because I like space a
You
lot.
like space. Wow. Would you like to travel into space someday? Or do you want to stay down here and
I'd
control
rather
it?
stay down here and control it.
Yeah, that's fine. Maybe you'll change as you get a little bit older. And you've played our game a number of times, and it certainly shows. And you approach this professionally. You've got a great discipline about you, and you're a great captain, Hen. You're a great captain. Ruby, tell us about yourself. I won't ask you about what you're going to do because I knew you're still sorting all that out in your head. What are your favorite subjects other than science?
I like math a lot.
Yeah? Yeah, but they kind of go together. They're synergistic. That's one of the STEAM subjects, two of the STEAM subjects. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read and draw, listen to music a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You obviously read a lot because you're so articulate and you know an awful lot of science. And we see that every time you play. Fiona, nice to have you here today. You were kind of fearful of taking on Martin Luther King, but you guys are acquitting yourselves beautifully. Tell me how you prepared for this game.
I looked at a bunch of science articles. I reread all of the science books that I own, and my dad printed out a sheet of paper of questions, and he would quiz me while I was eating breakfast or having dinner or whatever.
You did all the right things, and it shows here today. And you have interest in pathology and botany and toxicology, and again, this is the place for you. All those interests can be brought to bear because hopefully these questions tap into some of your vast knowledge, and you're such a good player. Let's go over and talk to Martin Luther King and Trevor. Trevor, you got a little script in front of you there. You know, he came prepared. You're obviously a well-prepared guy who does his homework. What do you want to tell us about Martin Luther King?
I would like to say Martin Luther King is a well-rounded school. We have lots of clubs, we have jazz band, science bowl, Destination Imagination, and we also have sports like soccer, softball, and baseball. We also have 2 extensive language programs, which are Spanish and Chinese. And we have 3 music programs, which are instrumental, which is orchestra and band, and we also have chorus. This year we have a new dance program, and we also have 45 minutes of advisory in the mornings where we can get help, we can talk to each other, and we can build our characters.
Right. And you didn't have to look down all that often. You committed a lot of that to memory, so I'm impressed with you, not only as a science student, but as a public speaker. Who's the principal over there, Trevor?
It is Dr. Rotunda Floyd Cooper.
Yeah, and I know how much she cares about Science Bowl and how much she is behind you guys. And your sponsor is?
Miss Butler.
Miss Butler, yes. She has been with us almost from the get-go. We've been around for 34 years, and I think she's been here most of those years. Trevor, someday, what are you going to do?
I would like to be a microbiologist that specializes in paleontology.
Paleontology. Have you ever been on a dig?
I have not, but I've tried to look for geodes inside of rocks, and I've also found a slab on a beach that has fossils in it.
That's cool. You got to keep that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Any alternates on your team?
We have Kalima Khan and Kevin Kresge.
Wonderful. They'll be out in just a few moments' time. Sabrina, what do you think? You want to come back and do this again? You having fun?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you're perfect for this, and you're really a great compliment to these 2 gentlemen here. Even though you've never played this game before, you came here today. You're doing extremely well. How did you prepare for this?
My parents are scientists, so they kind of pressured me to study.
You're feeling it, right?
Yes.
You're feeling that pressure. It's part of the family tradition. Well, they have every reason to be proud of you. And you want to go into chemical engineering, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Why chemical as opposed to mechanical or electrical engineering?
Well, as a child, I always liked to just experiment and mix stuff together, and that's where I developed my love for chemistry.
Yeah.
And then I love building, so it kind of just fits together.
It certainly does, and you're so well spoken too. And Martin, nice to have you back here today. You're a triathlete.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me, where have you competed?
I've only so far done one, and I placed 3rd place in my age category, which even though I'm 11, I was competing with 12-year-olds because of this rule. And it was in southern Maryland, California, Maryland. It was really fun because I love doing physical challenges, and I like biking, I like running, and I did a swim team to get myself better at swimming.
Wow.
So I figured that would be fun, and I did it and ended up getting 3rd place.
So you are a competitor. And it shows. I mean, you are all in with this game here today, and I'm sure you were that day too. Congratulations. That's a real accomplishment. I hope you do many, many more. And add up your miles on the Appalachian Trail too, because you got a lot of miles left out there.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to the game. 140 for King, 130 for Greenbelt. Last correct answer came from the green team. Boy, it's still anybody's game. Go, Trevor.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, there is a new book out called Eating the Sun: How Plants Power This Planet. Martin Luther King.
Earth.
No, Greenbelt. This new book, Eating the Sun: How Plants Power This Planet, is all about what process?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. That's right, eating the sun. Good comeback. Go Red. Got a 5-point lead. Go
Body
Hannah.
systems.
Let's turn that light on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, this body organ has what same name as the additional pages at the end of a book?
Appendix.
Martin Luther
Appendix.
King. Appendix. You got it, Trevor. Good. Go.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, the renowned scientist David Attenborough is raising the alarm about polyethylene in the oceans. Polyethylene is another name for these. Greenbelt.
Plastifiona.
Yeah?
Microplastics?
You got that right. Plastics is all I needed there. Good. Go. Red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, if pain comes and goes, it's called acute pain. But if you have pain that is unceasing, Greenbelt.
Chronic.
Yes, chronic pain, which often people resort to opioids, pain relievers, which we know can have terrible consequences. 180, 155, go Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri, 20 points. Visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, at this bat suffering from white nose syndrome. The cause of that fuzz is the same kind of organism that causes athlete's foot. Greenbelt.
Fungus.
Yes, it is a fungus. That is the causative agent. Go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, on May 20th this year, they decided that no longer will the standard mass found in Paris. Yes.
They will not use the bar anymore. They'll go by the speed of light.
Can I pass to?
Sure, Martin. Tell me what you want to tell me.
They will not be using meters anymore. They'll be going by the speed of light as their measurement now.
No, we're talking about mass here, though, but you are correct in what you're saying about another measurement. But the standard mass in this vault in Paris will no longer be used. The mass I'm talking about is equivalent to 2.2 pounds. What am I talking about?
Kilograms.
Kilograms, exactly right. Good, go Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, it turns out that city trees grow better than forest trees because there is more of this gas.
Carbon dioxide.
No, not carbon dioxide. Greenbelt, there is more of this gas that makes up 4/5 of the atmosphere found in car exhaust.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, that's what I want. Good, go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Score update 241-55, but we have all these big questions left here. Green things for 25 points. Teams, a leaf, strangely, has a surface that is hydrophobic. Martin Luther King.
It repels water.
It repels water, absolutely right. Good, go Trevor.
Let's get physical for 25.
Physical for 25 points, the big one in that category. Teams, please turn out the green light for us, please. All right, and this is, let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, if I gave you some soda and a blue litmus paper, two-part answer, if you dip that litmus paper inside that soda, what color would the blue paper turn and why?
It would turn red.
What color and
because
why
soda's
for
acidic.
25 points, Martin Luther King?
It would turn red because soda is acidic.
That's exactly right. Good. Go. Green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri, 25 points. Teams, as it approached New Orleans, Hurricane Barry was downgraded to a what?
Tropical
King.
storm.
Tropical storm.
Tropical storm is right. Yes, indeed. Good. Go green.
Dateline science for 25.
All right. Dateline for 25 points again. 230 for King, 240 for Greenbelt. This is Dateline for 25 points. Question is as follows. All right. Scientists are not sure if it has a biological or a geological origin, but the Curiosity rover on Mars has detected this gas with the formula. Yes, Martin Luther King.
Methane.
Methane. You didn't even need my CH4. Good. Go.
Oh my God.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams. Type 1 diabetes, which is found among young people, is sometimes known as this kind of diabetes, a word that is synonymous with adolescence. Greenbelt.
Juvenile.
You got it. Nicely done. Red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if your mother says, eat, 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 put some meat on your bones, she hopes you develop this kind of tissue.
Muscles.
Muscles, that's right. Good, go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, you know, seahorses aren't horses, and guinea pigs aren't pigs, and flying foxes aren't foxes.
They're bats.
They're bats.
They're bats, yes indeed. Good, go.
Let's get physical for 5.
Physical for 5 points. Teams, because redwood trees are so tall, they can't get all their water from the soil. They sometimes use this mist.
Fog. Fog.
Fog, that's right, which is a ground level cloud. Indeed, we have 2 5-point questions left. Go.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Kind of a joke. Listen carefully. Even though plants are structured mathematically, plants themselves cannot add, they cannot subtract, and they can't make square what?
Roots.
Roots is right, yes. Last question of the game, Dateline for 5 points is as follows. Astronomers said it could be a city killer when one of these objects just missed Earth.
Meteor?
Meteorite? No, not a meteorite.
An
Martin Luther
asteroid.
King. An asteroid is what I want to hear. And with that, we've come to the end of our game. No. One more question. Okay, go. Trevor. Green things for 5 points. Teams. Our arms and legs are often described by what same term?
Limbs.
Limbs is right. Yes, indeed. And that does end the game. Whew. We can breathe and exhale. Maybe. We'll be right back with the wrap-up. And welcome back to Science Bowl. We're all starting to breathe again. We think the adrenaline is going down, but just a little bit. A phenomenal game. It almost seemed like a championship game. In many ways it was, because these teams are both champs, even though we've just begun this new season. Look at that final tally today. Greenbelt 265, Martin Luther King 285. It came down to those last couple of questions. Give all of you a round of applause. What a game. What a game. Greenbelt team over here. Yeah, Fiona and Hannah and Ruby, you couldn't have done any better today. You play so well together. You complement each other. And look at the alternates back there. Maya and Allison and Leo and Jimmy. They were yelling those answers down there. I know they were. Miss Pagunson, thank you for all that you did to prepare this wonderful team. And Martin and Trevor and Sabrina, what can I say? You just made it happen. You never gave up. Our triathlete over there, he just would say, I'm not going to lose this thing. Kevin, congratulations to you. And Elizabeth, thank you for everything. And like I say, you are synonymous with our bowl here. Thank you for everything. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time on Science Bowl. Bye-bye.